Welcome everybody to the March episode of WTF.
Yay!
What the fuck for a fool's
March
quest.
Madness.
Yes.
What the fuck?
So I'm pretty sure that this is the last in season 1 that we've got for season 7. Our next WTF will be the one to wrap up all of the season.
The finale.
We will be done with season 7 with Steven 7.
With Steven 7.
We even typo when we talk.
Yes. That's how good we are.
Delete, delete, delete.
So we're going to cover the episodes that released in March. But first, before we dive in, let's give a big shout out and thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers that make this show possible. With an extra big shout out to our executive producers on Patreon, Mr. Nick Mead and PT Arsenal. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
You guys are awesome. Amazing.
I almost sneezed. I made like a weird noise because it was like an aborted sneeze. So I apologize for that.
I hate that.
So we're going to start off with something a little fun, just to kind of get the ball rolling before we dive into the episodes, but a question of the month. So if you had to name a demon lord using the rules of the 9 hell, what name would you give them?
Commodore bike with no seat.
Okay.
Lord spam on a hot plate.
Lord spam on a hot plate, is that what you said?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I can smell that one.
Mm-hmm.
Got Captain Blue Cheese Bubblegum.
Blue cheese bubblegum.
Ugh.
Catnip socks.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure, catnip socks sound terrible. Cat's
One
biting your
sock.
feet.
Like one sock.
The left one.
I've got these puppies I'm fostering right now, and they always are biting my feet. They're the worst. Gotta get.
You gotta bite their feet back
Gotta get them
to
adopted.
assert dominance.
There you go.
Is that what I have to do?
Just grab him by the neck and.
I'm not taking any more animal advice from you ever again.
Oh, okay.
Chicken.
Okay, so let's dive in to. Well, I wanted to come up from episode 31 into episode 32. So we covered episode 31 last time, but we were rolling right into episode 32. And it dawned on me, in episode 31, Valley left, right? And Eddie created an illusory double for her, and she went and did something. And then in episode 32, you guys all were just like, all right, that's cool. She's back now again.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really care where you went or what you did. Yeah, and it could have been anything at all. Let's go ahead and leave now. And nobody mentioned it.
Well, I feel like Valley's earned our trust. We had given her information that she wanted to pass on to people. The less we know about those people, the better for everyone involved, really. That was my thought process.
Plausible.
Because she was going to tell
deniability
him
for
about the
teammates.
Magnus Devlin stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, she wanted to check on her family and stuff. I think that's all right. We could trust her with that, I think. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Why are we
Yeah.
supposed to be worried about it?
No,
I mean, half the time we don't even realize she's there or not. Okay, most of the time.
that's true. I'm just saying, you went out of your way to make like an illusion of her, and then you gave her orders to go stock up the cart to get ready to go, and then yeah, eventually she's just back, and you guys went.
I had to give her some
Takes care of
cover
her
so
part
that
for
she could
3 episodes.
sneak out to go talk to her, to go send her messages or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do have some questions from Discord too. Let's see. We've got the first one is from Kevin here. It says, now that you've played a full set of sessions, how do you feel about this alternative game mechanic? Any tweaks?
Yeah, Dungeon World instead of D&D.
Mm-hmm.
That part's not different.
Business as usual.
Yep.
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
think
I mean,
Oh, you go.
Very
Mike, you-
streamlined. It's a very streamlined, easy system to dig into. It's not overwhelming and overloaded with a bunch of rules and nitpicking. So I just like how flexible it is.
Just to really mess with people.
But second edition.
I know.
Yeah.
I think we do tweak it quite a bit because it's a very open system too. So a lot of the stuff that we do, like when we translate D&D spells, like I don't know if Blink is in Dungeon
Yeah.
World or if that's one of the ones that we made for Dungeon World because it just wasn't there, and we're like, well, yeah, that's gonna come up.
Yeah.
So like a lot of what we play is tweaks, but the game is encouraging of that.
I think we've also accommodated variations for magic items in the same way.
Yeah.
Not all the magic items are translate verbatim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think we bend some of the rules too, right? So like some of the checks that you guys can do where you like ask from a list of questions, right? And we kind of make that a little loose too.
Or who or what we're asking.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I admit that has been very entertaining.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's dive in. Episode 32, Bill's not excellent adventure. So the fools discuss the ethics of Hot Pocket production, then set off from New City on a perilous journey where they quickly find themselves in a very pun-heavy situation. So yeah, I really like the perilous journey for travel. I like that rule set in there.
It's nice for a bunch of reasons. What I really like is that we know who to blame if something goes wrong. No, it's that there's degrees of things going wrong, like because there's 4 different checks being made.
I think it really lends itself to fleshing out that travel gap. Where a lot of times where we would go from A to B, and it's like, okay, well, you travel for 3 days, and
Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't make a random check or whatever and hit something along the way, there is just nothing. Okay, you make it, and it adds a whole nother dimension to it. Like you said, on so many different levels.
It also makes you a
I
little
like
bit
it.
more reasonable about your travel. Because, like, I don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
to take extra journeys when shit can go wrong.
Yeah, well, it totally makes sense and adds some believability to the whole situation.
Yeah.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember the pun heavy situation that you mentioned. I know we ran through a bunch of puns. I was trying to remember what they were though.
The pun-heavy situation in that one. Hold on, let me reread it and remember. That was.
'Cause I remember
Yeah,
there was a whole bunch of dings in that one.
Wasn't that the one with the bubblegum? I think that's where we saw the gum monster and we just went off on
Yeah.
Oh,
a tangent
we
of
just-
puns. I'm pretty sure.
Chewed the
Yeah.
fat for a while about that.
Well, I had to put that in the episode description because every time I would write a pun into the episode description, I was like, "Oh, here's a pun about it," and then somebody would say it in the episode. I'm like, "Well, then I have to make a new one." And then it happened again, and I was like, "Fine, there's a fuck ton of puns. How about that?"
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Yep.
we had so many rapid fire right there at the table. That was awesome.
yeah.
It's one thing
Yeah,
to think
I
of
think
bunch of them
even-
after the fact, but I mean, when it's all right there and spontaneous, it's awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you even missed a couple dings on there too because there was just so I think there was just
They were so
many
overlapped.
dings fired off. Yeah.
Yep.
But then Uorag failed his wild shape roll again.
Hey.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
the meowing tiger.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you tried to roar at bubblegum and nope. Meow. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They only said gurgle,
Gurgle,
which
gurgle,
came
gurgle.
into
Oh my god, that became
came
such a thing.
into play later.
Yeah, did it? I don't remember that very much.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was the episode where I learned Tensor's floating disc, and I chose that one so that I could drag back Bill's body if he died.
Yes. Yes.
But he didn't
So-
die.
I didn't.
you made a joke about learning message to the demons,
Yeah.
for the scroll.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you might give yourself away as a warlock if you do that. Like, if you all of a sudden can message him like 12 times a day, and he's like, where did you get all those scrolls?
Okay.
You're like,
I would like to say that Nico just said, "Give yourself away as a warlock."
Not
It's
that I
canon.
am. Not that I am. Not that Eddie's a warlock. Eddie's not. Never
I noticed that.
had any truck with
Not a warlock.
extra dimensional entities. It's just not his bag, baby.
6 demon bag.
No demons in it. That's what I'm saying. His bag is strictly earthly, or Euphrates.
this is the episode where Bill almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I learned
Yeah,
the spell.
I guess
Yeah, that was the first time we ran into that whole death scenario.
Yeah, Bill
Which was-
just barely made that roll. I mean, didn't just barely, but it felt like just barely because it's scary.
It was scary.
I think you rolled like an 11 or something, but it was
Yeah,
a tense
yeah.
roll.
I would
And-
have been very upset if I'd gone out to gum.
yeah.
I was afraid I was going to get killed by Adira when I had my Hydra heads stuck together and she went to go separate. I was like, oh, this is going to hurt.
You don't need all of them.
I don't think we really
Is this
discussed the whole regeneration thing on the Hydra. Is that a factor?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or
I mean, I
we'll,
guess,
we'll
I
visit
guess
that
we
in
really-
game later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't
I mean-
regenerate its missing heads, right?
Right. But that's how
That-
Uorag saw
Yeah,
it
that's true.
initially. So
Okay.
that's how we can take that shape.
Okay. Yeah, that
Which
makes
we
sense.
did have a question from Discord about that said when you guys were out of food,
Yeah.
when they were going on about farming,
Mm-hmm.
Uorag, why did no one think of the Hydra for naturally regenerating meat, and could he already do this? So
Yeah.
just lop off a Hydra head
Yeah.
and
You guys were
eat
talking
that
about
over and
milk.
over.
And so you're not milking me.
Yes. You're not milking me.
He'll come around.
Turn into a
Yeah.
giant chicken, lay a big egg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Egg would have
I love
antlers.
like we had like a 5 or 6 minute conversation about all the things that people were gonna do to Uorag, and then at the very end, he's like, "I don't even need to eat."
Well, more for us.
I'm,
You barely touched your Uorag. What's that?
it's a little gamey.
Ding.
So then you guys defeated the bad guys. Uorag goes spider mode, and you scout out the demon camp, which was pretty big. Lots of demons.
Yeah.
Yeah. That wagon place of power is the fucking thing, man.
Yep.
Yeah. It sounded like for a minute you guys were just gonna leave. 'Cause-
Well, we
'cause you're like,
found
"We
it.
can't
That's
deal with
awesome.
this."
See ya.
Yeah. Like, we can't deal with this many demons. We're
There's a
gonna
lot of
go.
demons.
Mark it on the map.
I like how you act like we're being unreasonable when we saw a camp full of demons, and we're like, maybe we shouldn't. That's
Yeah. It's a
I
giant
didn't think it was-
freaking camp, and we're like, nope.
I didn't think it was unreasonable. I just thought it was interesting. I was like, you guys don't have to fight them all. Like, Uorag was like, I'm gonna go recruit some spiders. I'm like, oh, okay, that might go poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uorag does well with making friends with inanimate objects, but him and the animal kingdom don't seem to get along.
Yeah. I just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the case. He does much better with
Yeah. Doors and
minerals
stairs and docks.
vegetables.
Random pieces of furniture.
And that's when we broke in to anchovies on pumpkin pies.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, that's
In
the
episode
next
33.
episode. Yeah.
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 Yeah, because
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
Yep. So gurgle, gurgle.
the most appropriate title
gurgle,
for that
gurgle,
one.
gurgle.
We couldn't name it anything but that.
It was vacation week for me when it came to title time.
Right? It was a gimme.
I loaded it up and it started playing, and I was like, "Oh yeah!"
That was easy.
I wrote out the titles before I wrote the synopsis for the first time ever.
Yeah. Gurgle, gurgle.
Yeah, and I loved the. I put your synopsis with all the gurgles in it too, where you replace some words.
Yeah. Jesse
was-
sends the synopses in our group chat, and he sent that one both ways. And he was like, use whichever one you prefer. And Nico was like, well, obviously, gurgle.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the right call. Should not have been anything else.
It was the right way to go.
Yep.
I enjoyed it.
Now I just
That-
need to
that
get a
whole
pack of gum
scenario.
magic items so I can do the thing again. Huh?
Yeah. I loved the way that whole scenario started to play out. We were just tromping through the camp. Nobody said boo about it. We were supposed to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, in episode 33, that's what you guys did. You got some gummy illusions, and you ran through the camp, and you left your mobile place of power, out parked outside. But that's really coming clutch. Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
having that,
That wagon's A-okay.
which is wild, because I did not expect you guys to do that with one of the red pop scrolls.
That was great.
When opportunity knocks, you answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No judgment from me. I thought it's clever and hilarious. So as you guys made it past the guards and into the big war room of the demon headquarters, you guys scouted out the war room, and you found there was a torture/birthday chamber that was in there.
Yeah, torture/birthday. But all they had tortured was
Party
spiders.
central.
At that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we go through that, though, we did get a question. Mead wants to know, what does a place of power do? So, Tony, do you want to explain that real quick, what a place of power does?
Yeah, so basically, magic users can devise their own ritual to do just about anything they want, but they have to have a place of power to do it. So it's like, some sort of place where they can focus their energy for the spell or whatever. But also there's always like caveats, like, yeah, you can do it, but it's going to take this amount of time, which could be 15 minutes or it could be 15 years of doing this ritual, or it's going to take a whole lot of this, or it's going to take the help of these specific people, or things like that.
I imagine
But the rituals are handy.
I imagine just calling it a place of power is kind of like a generic term. It's like if you were a cleric, it would be like an altar, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or a druid, it would be like a sacred grove or something. You just happen to be a spellcaster, so you got to have the the stuff on the symbols on the floor and the runes and all that, and
Yeah.
all the accoutrements.
I think it's got to be decked out all noir, though, inside the wagon.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, obviously.
yeah.
That's how my places of power work.
You go in, it turns black and white and gets all grainy.
Everywhere you go,
Muted
Smell-
sax
smell.
starts playing.
it just has an aura of noir.
There's fog machines.
So it's just a bucket with water and dry ice. Sitting in the corner.
Never wins.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap us up for the general public part of this. So remember, thank you all for listening to the show, and for everything else that extends onto this, as well as additional one-shots that we do, NPC interludes that we do that talk about what the NPCs are doing, a whole bunch of extra goodies on our Patreon. If you ever decide to check it out, go to patreon.com patreon.com/creative typo, and you'll be able to get access to all of our shows there, which are ad free, so no more ads, and then all of the bonus content as well. And as well, our patrons quite often get to like play one shots with us and stuff in our Discord server. So make sure to join that as well. But outside of that, we are gonna take off and call this an episode. So we will see you next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.